The rain between us. When Anaya first met Kabir, she did not know he was married. It was a crowded evening in London, the kind where the rain blurred headlights into long golden lines. She had just started working as a junior interior designer, struggling to survive in a city that never slowed down for anyone. Her tiny rented apartment leaked during winter storms. Her boss barely noticed her existence, and her dreams often felt larger than her reality. Kabir entered her office one afternoon wearing a simple white shirt, holding blueprints under his arm. He wasn't extraordinarily handsome, but he carried calmness in his eyes, a kind of quiet confidence that made people listen when he spoke. "Coffee?" he asked after their first meeting. Anaya hesitated. "I don't usually go out with clients." "Then think of it as a conversation about design," he smiled. That coffee became another, then dinners, then long drives across the Thames while city lights reflected across the dark water. Kabir listened to her stories carefully, about her father's death, her mother's sacrifices, her fear of failure. No one had ever listened to her like that before, and slowly, dangerously, she fell in love. The truth came 3 months later. She saw it accidentally. Kabir's phone lit up while he was driving. A message appeared on the screen. "Arav is waiting for you. Come home soon. Mira." Anaya's chest tightened. "Who's Mira?" she asked quietly. Kabir's hands stiffened on the steering wheel. Silence filled the car. Finally, he whispered, "My wife." The word hit harder than she expected. Wife. Not ex-wife, not separated, wife. Anaya stared outside the window as rain hammered the glass. The city lights looked broken now. "You lied to me." "I was going to tell you." "When?" "I don't know." That night she cried until sunrise. She promised herself she would never speak to him again. But heartbreak is rarely logical. Kabir kept calling, kept apologizing, kept saying things that weakened her anger. "My marriage ended emotionally years ago. We only stay together for our son. You're the only person who makes me feel alive." And Anaya wanted to hate him. God, she tried. But loneliness has a cruel way of turning love into addiction. Weeks later, she met him again, then again. Soon they were trapped inside something neither could fully defend nor leave behind. Kabir rented a small apartment across the city where they met secretly. It became their little stolen world. They cooked together, watched old movies, argued about music, laughed over burnt pasta. For a few hours at a time, Anaya forgot she was living inside another woman's heartbreak. But reality always returned. Kabir never stayed the night. Every evening around 9 p.m., he would check his watch. "I should go." And each time, Anaya felt like she was being abandoned all over again. One night, she finally asked, "Do you love her?" Kabir looked away. "She's the mother of my child." "That's not what I asked." Long silence. "I don't know anymore." That answer destroyed her more than honesty would have. Months passed. Anaya stopped posting pictures online because she could never post him. Holidays became painful. Birthdays felt incomplete. She spent Christmas alone while Kabir attended family gatherings with his wife and son. She existed in the shadows of his real life, yet she still loved him. Sometimes love humiliates people quietly. One evening, while waiting in a cafe, Anaya saw Kabir walking outside with his son on his shoulders. Beside him was Mira, his wife. She was beautiful in a soft, tired way. She laughed while fixing her son's jacket. Kabir smiled at her naturally, comfortably, the way people smile after years of shared memories. Anaya suddenly felt sick. Until that moment, Mira had only been an obstacle in her mind, a distant name. Now she was real, a woman, a mother, someone who probably trusted her husband completely. Anaya left the cafe before Kabir arrived. That night, she stared at herself in the mirror for a long time. "What am I becoming?" she whispered. But the next day, Kabir came to her apartment. "I waited for 2 hours," he said. "I saw you with your family." Kabir sighed heavily. "Anaya, you looked happy. It's complicated." "No," she said with tears in her eyes. "You made it complicated." For the first time, they had a real fight. "You think this is easy for me?" Kabir shouted. "You had a choice," she cried back. "I didn't even know I was destroying someone else's marriage." Kabir grabbed her hand gently. "I love you." Anaya pulled away. "Then why do I always feel second?" Kabir had no answer. Days turned into colder weeks. Their conversations became fragile, filled with jealousy, guilt, and fear. Anaya began losing herself. She stopped painting, stopped meeting friends. Every emotion depended on Kabir's availability. If he replied late, she panicked. If he cancelled plans, she cried. If he sounded distant, she imagined him falling back in love with his wife. She hated the version of herself she had become. One rainy night, Kabir arrived unexpectedly drunk. "I can't do this anymore," he muttered. Anaya froze. Her heart already knew what was coming. "My son asked why I'm never home," Kabir said quietly. "Mira knows something is wrong. I'm hurting everyone." Tears filled Anaya's eyes instantly. "So that's it." Kabir sat beside her helplessly. "I never wanted to hurt you, but you did, and I hurt them too." The room fell silent except for the rain outside. Anaya looked at the man she loved, the man she had imagined a future with, and suddenly saw the truth clearly. No one wins in stolen love. Not the wife, not the husband, not the woman waiting in secret. Everyone bleeds eventually. Kabir touched her face gently. "In another life?" "No," Anaya interrupted softly. "Don't say that. Because another life did not exist. There was only this one. And in this life, he belonged somewhere else." Kabir cried that night. So did she. And for the first time, she did not ask him to stay. The weeks after the breakup felt unbearable. Anaya deleted his number at least 20 times, yet still remembered it by heart. Every corner of the city reminded her of him. Every song reopened wounds. But pain changes people slowly. She started therapy, started painting again, started rebuilding herself piece by piece. Months later, she received an email from a gallery owner interested in her artwork. One of her paintings, a lonely woman standing under heavy rain, was selected for an exhibition. At the exhibition opening, strangers admired her work while discussing its emotion. One man asked, "What inspired this painting?" Anaya smiled faintly. "A storm I survived," and she meant it. A year later, she saw Kabir one last time, only for a moment. He stood across a bookstore holding his son's hand. Arav looked older now, happier. Kabir noticed her too. Their eyes met briefly across the busy street. No anger, no dramatic reunion, only memory. Kabir gave her a small smile filled with sadness and gratitude. Anaya smiled back. Then the traffic moved between them, and both continued walking in opposite directions. Some love stories are not meant to last forever. Some arrive only to teach people who they are, and who they should never become again. And though Kabir had once broken her heart, Anaya eventually understood something important. Loving someone is not always enough to make staying right.